When you understand that the Bible is not a book, but it is a library, so many things open up in understanding it better. You realize the remarkable number of different writing styles, what sophisticated people might call genres, that are within the biblical library. Like the Bible starts out, I don't know if you knew this or not, it starts out with a hymn. That's what Genesis chapter 1 is. It's not a science textbook. It's calling out to you, don't read me like a science textbook. It's got verse and chorus and verse and chorus and this incredible refrain of it was evening, it was morning, the first day. And so when you realize, this is the genre I'm reading, it opens up the interpretation in all kinds of different ways. And that's just one example. And in addition to opening up with a hymn of praise, the Bible has incredible historical narrative like the book of Exodus and Leviticus. It has legal codes like we would find in Leviticus and a book all about anarchy, which is what the book of Judges is. And then these books of wisdom and poetry and an entirely, and there's a book, I don't know if you knew this or not, there's a book of erotic poetry that's in the Bible. It's called the Song of Songs. Read it, and you'll see that I'm being tamed by calling it erotic poetry. And then all of it kind of leads to this remarkable new genre that we would call gospel, which is biography with a purpose. Matthew and Mark and Luke and John, each arranging their material to convey their message that Jesus is Lord and there is no other. One of the things I love about coming alive in studying the Bible is the ability to understand that the fact that our modern Bibles, at least before they were found on apps, our modern Bibles with covers and pages, that's almost deceptive. Because none of the books of the Bible were written to be with the authors thinking, this is going to be on really thin pages in between really expensive leather covers. That's not how it came to pass. And so when you understand that it is not a book in the normal sense of what we modern people think of as books with beginnings and endings and everything making deep connections in between, that's not what the Bible is. It's not how it's a book that you have to finish in a year. No. We want to savor the Bible bit by bit, morsel by morsel, different writing style by different writing style. One of the ways that's so thrilling to realize the different styles of writing in the Bible is the New Testament letters. Usually we open those letters up to prove a point. Where's a verse that's going to tell me what I need to know to prove this point against this person. And that's what we think books like Romans and Corinthians and Ephesians and Galatians and all those books are for. And they're not. They're letters. They're letters written by a real man, real pastor, Paul, to real churches going through real stuff in real time. One of my greatest moments as a small group leader in our church is when I have a life group of young adults. And a couple years ago, we had studied 1 Corinthians as a life group. And so fast forward 2 years later, and somehow 1 Corinthians got mentioned. And I said to the group, hey, who can tell me why there's a 1 Corinthians? And one of the young women in our group piped up and she said, is that the one where the guy's having an affair with his stepmother? Bingo! She's exactly right. The driving issue behind 1 Corinthians, the book with the love chapter, love is patient, love is kind, is that a guy is having an affair with his stepmother, and the Corinthian church still thinks it's all that spiritually. So Paul has to come alongside and say, no, you're not any of that. When you understand that that's kind of the driving force behind this letter that Paul writes to that church, the whole thing opens up. And you see all the intersections between their lives and ours. It can be dangerous to think that the Bible is merely a book because you open it up and you think you're the one setting the agenda. What do I need out of it? Where's it going to tell me this instruction? Where is the how-to piece here? And you're setting the agenda because you're compacting it into a box that you have designed for it. It's a book. Well, when you realize it's a library, and each of the inspired authors of the biblical books within the library, they have their own agenda. And the thrill of studying the Bible is being able to figure out, this is that author's agenda, and my privilege as a student of the Bible is fitting my life in with his agenda, not making him fit into mine.